Segue.
Hey everybody.
We are at Prepper Camp in Saluda, North Carolina. Oh my gosh, what are you doing at a Prepper Camp?
Having a lot of fun and getting a lot of education.
There are some just incredible teachings out here about preparedness and
Look, it's for all ages. Hey Mom.
Hi. Having a blast.
Hey Dad.
So back behind us we have tents. They have like top-notch expert teachers and every type of thing.
And as you can see, it's a wonderful family event because there are kids everywhere, people of all different ages.
All different types of places, states. There's also the vendors back here, incredible vendors. But wait a minute, you're probably thinking, prepper? But if I'm a believer, what do I need to know about prepping? Well, you know what? Noah built the ark before it had ever rained. Matter of fact, there was no such thing as rain. Look it up, it's in scripture, until the flood happened.
This is true. And what about all those out there who are saying, but aren't I going to get raptured out of this? Listen, whether you believe in pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, under-trib, over-trib,
Pan-trib, it'll all pan out in the end.
There are going to be, scripture says, the groanings of the earth that occur.
And the ruffling of diesel engines.
that occur before the tribulation.
Yes.
And so all of these natural disasters that we see, wouldn't you like to have your family prepared so that there's less fear, so that there's more preparation, more understanding what to do in situations that can typically cause chaos and pandemonium in a family? Instead, your children will be trained, ready, knowledgeable, and if they're separated from you, you'll have a plan of action about when and where to meet up.
And is this biblical? Absolutely. Let's not just use the Moshe reference for prepping, but it also says in Job to learn from the ants, right? Because they store up for the winter, they're preparing. And in Proverbs, I think it's 22 verse 3, I'll put it up on the screen. It says the cautious man sees danger coming and what?
Prepares.
The fool does nothing and suffers the consequences.
So, are you wise or are you a fool? Are you prepared for anything that may come your way? Or do you just take the lazy approach? Let's be honest. This isn't about fear-mongering. Preparation leads to lack of fear.
After all, for all you Shabbat keepers out there, do you not have a preparation day? That's right, we do. We have a preparation day for entering into the Sabbath. So in the same way, there's nothing wrong with having a plan that's prepared for the protection of your family. I like what you said. It's not about operating in a spirit of fear, but being cautious and prepared.
And prudent.
Yes.
And that's wisdom, to be prepared. What does it say the Proverbs 31 woman does? She has things stored up. She's cooking things. She has all kind of clothes for no matter what season for her family. So her family is clothed and taken care of well.
And she knows how to shoot and throw knives and tomahawks.
Well, and she knows how to get out of restraints, because I just took a class on how to get out of restraints, and I'm taking an anti-kidnapping class. Now that sounds pretty extreme, doesn't it? But guess what? I have been in just such situations where I could have needed to know this information. People have tried to kidnap me on multiple occasions. People have tried to kill me on multiple occasions. You think it's not going to happen to you until it's too late.
Her parents, which you just saw earlier, have been kidnapped. They were kidnapped and beaten and almost killed. And your mom, going through one of the courses, said, wow, if we had known some of these things, that it could have prevented those 7 men from taking them.
With as much sex trafficking as is going on, as many kids disappearing, you can't afford to not teach these things to your children so that they're aware. Mental preparation is something that really, and teaching them how to appear, not to be a target, is something that can't be replaced.
Some of the classes here was active shooter threat, the trauma that takes place mentally, physically, PTSD, how to prevent starving when you're out in the forest. I mean, herbal medicines, survival skills, a lot of things that 100 years ago, your grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents knew how to do because they lived it every day.
And when you look at active shooter situations, it seems like, you know, in our youth it would have been unheard of. Nowadays they're teaching kids what to do in school with active shooters. We know somebody whose family member has undergone the horrific situations of active shooter. Those of us in the Jewish, Messianic, Hebrew, anything that has to do with Israel, you need to be aware that you are a target. So learn, be prepared, and don't operate in a spirit of fear, because love has overcome that fear.
Amen to that.
But be prepared. We love you guys.